Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to SR Chronicles. In today's video we will explore Linux SS command. But before we get started, please subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell, like, share and comment. Before diving into examples, it is helpful to understand what a network socket is. A socket is typically defined by three elements: IP, address, transport protocol, such as TCP or UDP, and a port number. Together, these components represent one endpoint of a network communication channel. For example, if a web server is configured to listen for incoming connection on 1.1.1.80 using TCP, that address and port combination represent the socket. It is important to understand that socket itself isn't the entire connection. Rather, it is one side of two-way communication path between systems. So, the general syntax of SS command is SS, options, and filter. In practice, you can combine different options and different filters to display exactly the type of socket information you need. So, let's bring example. First, SS. When the SS command is executed without any additional option, it displays all open sockets that currently have established connection. This may include TCP, UDP, or Unix domains socket. Because servers often maintain a large number of active sockets, the output can be very long. On some systems, it may produce hundreds of lines. For easier reading, you may want to pipe the output into pagers such as less. Instead of showing all sockets, you may want to see only those that are waiting for incoming connection. So this can be done using SS-L option, which is list sockets in the listening state. Also add T option. In this example, T option is combined with L, so that only TCP listening sockets are displayed. So this is our TCP listening sockets are displayed. State, listen, receive queue, send queue, local address, port, PostgreSQL domain, HTTP IP, HTTP, peer address, 00, any port, and process. Other option, ls, ss, ss minus pl. Minus p options allow you to display the process name and process ID associated with each socket. Enter. Let's go here. Yes. This is extremely useful when trying to determine which application is responsible for opening particular network port. So here you can see process and process ID, application and process ID. So the output of SS-PL will include the process name, process ID, and file descriptor related to each socket. By default, SS command resolves port numbers into their corresponding service name. For example, 22 will display as a SSH, 22 as a SSH. If you prefer to see numeric port numbers instead, you can disable name resolution using -n option, SS-n option. And you can see port numbers and IP addresses, port transport layer protocol, and status established. After disabling the resolution, the output will display, for example, 22 instead of SSH. The mapping port between a service name defines in the etc services file, cat etc services. Here you can see services, ports, and transport layer protocols, TCP or UDP. While -n disables the name resolution, -r option does the opposite by resolving IP addresses and port numbers into host name and service names. So ss minus r. And we see host name, and for example, the names of services, HTTPS, and you can explore other options. This can help make output easier to interpret in environments where host names are meaningful. If you want to view sockets associated with IPv4 addresses, you can use SS-L option. Enter. And we see transport layer protocol, states, local addresses, and other information, ports and peer addresses. This command lists all listening sockets that are bound to IPv4 addresses. Similarly, the -6 option, SS-6, limits the output for IPv6 options. This is useful in dual stack environments when both IPv4 and IPv6 are active. To display only TCP sockets, you can use SS-LT. This command lists all TCP sockets that are currently in listening state. -U option limits the output for UDP sockets, since UDP is a connectionless. Running SS-U by itself may produce very little output. Therefore, it's often combined with -L option, UL. This displays all UDP sockets that are listening. Other option, SS-X. Options allow you to display Unix domain sockets, which are used for communication between processes on the same system. This is processes in my Linux Ubuntu system, and processes communication happens via Unix domain sockets. These sockets are commonly used by services such as X11 and DBus. So that's all for this lesson. I will continue talking about SS command in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.